The king was furious because she did not obey. But Queen Vashti refused to come. Esther 1 and 12. She says no, and the king becomes furious. As we mentioned in part 1, Queen Vashti was not a common woman. She was the queen, and the king was not acting from sober judgment. And I believe the request may have compromised her royal dignity. And at this time, the king's advisors went into panic mode. It says in Esther 1 and 17, "For the queen's behavior will become known to all women, so they will despise their husbands in their eyes." And so here we see that they are worried about social consequences. They're more concerned about losing control and influence. And now this becomes a kingdom crisis. But we know this is not just palace drama. This is divine orchestration. God is actually working through Vashti's decision and through the human dysfunction. So Vashti's refusal was not rebellion, it was actually alignment. When a woman's assignment ends, God will not require you to compromise your God-given identity, your dignity. If God has ordained your next season, you don't have to compromise your integrity. You don't have to compromise your identity. You do not have to compromise your morals and your values just to fit in. And her exit was not failure, it was a divine release. So the proposal to the king was, if it pleases the king, let a royal decree go out from him that Vashti is never again to come before the king. Give her position to someone better than she. Esther 1 and 19. Again, why is this? Because they are terrified that Vashti's decision will influence other women, and they simply want to make an example out of her. This is male insecurity and maintaining control. And this is the moment God uses human pride to create a vacancy. And again, Vashti's refusal is not punishment, it's not failure, it is now transition. Sometimes the people who are ahead of you are not wicked, they are simply not aligned with the assignment God is preparing for you. And what God is preparing for you may look like a transition in someone else's season. So don't spend your time judging the other woman whose season has ended. Focus on stewarding the season God has placed in your hands. And Vashti's refusal was never built on failure, it was built on God's purpose. What may have been an honorable decision by Vashti became part of God's larger plan to position Esther. Sometimes God is working behind the scenes long before the person he has chosen even steps on the scene. And while one season was coming to an end, God was already preparing the next chapter. And in part 3, we'll see how God begins positioning Esther for the very assignment she was born to fulfill. Stay tuned for part 3, Esther becomes queen, because you are the purposeful woman.